Hey everybody, Big John back again. Gonna do the other side of the Trailblazer now. The other tie rod ends, and I think this side might be a little worse. The tire's tight, well, tight enough. I just broke it loose, jacked it up, and then noticed how much this was wiggling. So I took my 4-way wrench and ran those lug nuts back down until the tires started to turn, and I don't think it's supposed to be that loose. So we'll dig in, see if there's anything else wrong. If there is, we'll address it. So thanks for watching. See you later. So the tie rod down here is definitely bad. I can wiggle that around, but that ball joint's bad as well, so I'm gonna have to replace that, and then I'm gonna check on the lower here real quick. But yeah, that's not safe to be driven that way. So we're gonna have to do something about that. Well, it's later this evening, and I don't know if you can tell, I got a new CV shaft here. Because, let me get down here. When I took this apart, took that tie rod off, and that ball joint, it was completely wobbly and wore out. Here's the old one. You can see that boot's ripped. And yeah, that's what I was driving on right there. Yeah, it's terrible. Wonder it didn't break on me going down the road. But and then the inner tie rod was starting to come apart. The outer was all jiggly and loose. When I busted that ball joint loose, which I've got the new one pressed in, I just got to put the clip in to hold it. But I just pressed it in real quick so that I could get to the parts store, return the press, because I had to use the money I spent renting the press to get a CV shaft, because when I dropped the spindle down like this, the CV shaft and the back joint on it just fell apart. You see right there, there's the other half of it. Yep, she just fell right out. And I don't have a striking cap pry bar to knock that out with, but luckily I'm not afraid of buying cheap tools. That one broke on me years ago until it's all rusty. Probably got mad, threw it across the shop when I was a kid. It happens. And luckily I had that. I could hit the side of it. So, there we go. I'll update you when I get it all put back together. So, got it all put back together. Got the new ball joint in, new bushings on the rusty old A-arm on both sides, because that was just a flopping around. There was nothing left, no rubber left. What was left was petrified. That's all back in together, torqued down. Got the new tie rod ends, inner and outer. Ball joints, got the new CV shaft in. Got the axle nut torqued down. Now the only CV shafts I'd ever changed before an Explorer that my dad had. I had, because he was a Ford guy, early 90s Explorer, mid 90s, and they had, instead of having a regular spline, a regular hex nut here, Ford uses a funky splined nut. So I had a wrench that was made, it was an offset wrench, it was real big, it's made to get in there on a couple different sizes of those Ford splined nuts right here. I didn't have anything to take this apart with, so when I went and got the CV shaft, I picked up AutoZone special OEM Tools 36mm 6-point axle nut socket. It was even just billed as an axle nut socket. So I doubt I'll be using this every day all the time, but it will go in the toolbox. Something else I've got, and then my torque wrench to torque that axle nut down with. Just, I kind of wanted to show you that you don't have to have the fanciest of equipment as long as you take care of what you've got. That's my 1/2-inch drive, foot-pound torque wrench, that dial type that I've been using for years. I've done heads with this. I've rebuilt entire engines with this. And you just kind of calibrate it yourself. You just set that dial to 0. It'll do Newton meters. It'll do foot pounds. One side of that is either one. I got a 3/8. It's just like it, only smaller. I'm not even sure there's a brand name on it. I've never been able to find one. But, it works. Like I said, I've rebuilt entire engines. The engine that's in that C10, I built that with this. And it works. Works just fine. I always keep it in this case, just so it doesn't get beat up. I have a clicker type that doesn't have a case or anything. I've got an old beam type that doesn't have any kind of a case, and they're in that toolbox there, and I just never use them because that one I know is right on, and she works pretty good, just about the right size. And then I just keep it down here on the bottom of the cart because that case is kind of long. It's kind of a long deal, and it don't fit just anywhere. Now the 3/8 fits better. And see right there, you can see I gave $20 for that, probably at a garage sale somewhere, and they were together, so I probably gave 20 bucks a piece for them. And that one is the same deal. Now that one's got some writing on it. Navy calibration program. Oh, so they came from the Navy. Yeah, okay. 92, 94 they were calibrated. Probably sold off at auction. Probably the old man I bought them off of probably bought them off in a Navy auction. Yeah, I did not realize that. I don't use the 3/8 one very often. I've used it for doing, oil pans, transmission pans, stuff like that. Usually I don't worry a whole lot about torquing stuff down specifically, unless it's, major engine components like heads or stuff like that, axle nut. and then I'm breaking out the big boy. So, all right. So I'm gonna get this greased up, get the wheel back on it, and see how she's doing. Well, got it done. Took it out and around the mile. It's up there parked, and yeah, she's about 100% better on the steering. Man, I can take it up past 50 and it doesn't rattle my brains out, which it was doing before. I couldn't get it over 50 without really shaking. And now I know why. The front tire is about to fall off. And so it's still got a noise in it. A little bit of a, you can feel it in the floor, a little bit of a noise. I'm guessing as bad as that front end was, and the way that one CV shaft just fell apart. On the other side, I never took the ball joints loose, so I'm guessing that other side, the ball or the CV shaft's bad. So one of these days, go ahead and check that out. Maybe do the ball joints on that side. Now that I know what I'm doing, they aren't so bad. And that driver's side fixed up. But doing a whole lot better. Now I just got to put my mess of tools away, throw some parts out, and go in the house. Thanks for watching.